What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we have one of the last few bosses we've kind of been able to do a guide on for endless mode, and that is Snow Stomper here. So previously we weren't able to get to the 20 billion damage mark, which means it's pretty much in line for what we were expecting here. We can now potentially go for a very much more offensive lineup, and picking the right hero combination is going to be a little tricky because of course we want our true damage dealers on our team. I keep going to say holy damage since that's what it's like in so many other games. But overall, I don't think the strategy has changed too much. There are a couple select heroes here that you can run, like potentially Floorbell, that help break enemies or heroes out of the things faster. We're going to try to go for an extremely offensive minded team, which means there's going to be a lot of parts and pieces we need to see what can move where, who can do more damage, and what actually ends up being the best route here. Now again, I think going back to a physical / true damage team is probably going to net us one of the best results here, and that's mainly just because of endless mode bosses scaling magic defense and physical defense so quickly. So having some of these other heroes in the lineup could be good. The combination of having Shakir and Floorbell is probably one of the fastest ones on breaking those ice blocks right there. Is just very, very quick, and I can't see heroes like Odie or even maybe Alsa being that great. Granted, I'm gonna try them over the Florabelle for sure, or maybe even the Shakir, because the Shakir did go down kind of quickly here. I don't necessarily think going for a healing type hero is going to be the best option. I think breaking those little snowbanks is going to be the best thing for us to have, like best thing to happen here overall. So either way, we already have a record. Let's see how this team matches up against everybody else on our server and our district to see what the numbers actually look like. The only downside with running a hero like Corrin is occasionally he doesn't go and attack and break those heroes out. But let's see, first run, how was our damage overall? Top 10. Okay, so that's not too bad. Shakir being the big letdown in my opinion. So who's a great option to run on any boss? Well, let's go with someone like Odie. Odie can pump out a ton of damage, and beyond that, we kind of still have a really good team to break heroes out of those ice blocks. You have to remember, in this situation though, Odie and Corrin, well, Odie most of the time is only going to attack the boss. Corrin a lot of times only attacks the boss as well. We could potentially run another buffer as well. So if in this situation right here, we don't like the damage Odie's outputting, or we don't like how the Floorbell is performing, one of the best heroes to put in things like this right now is still Thorin to this day. Thorin can do a ton of buffing of the amount of damage that we're dealing. So we'll just see how this turns out. It seems like, again, those snowbanks are going down very quickly, even with having Odie and Corrin hyper focusing on the boss. We'll have to see what the damage output ends up looking like. Corrin is of course taking the brunt of the hits here because he is in the melee, well, he's in the closest to melee range possible, and this is easily a better record right here versus the Shakir, because Shakir just died so quickly. Merrily did go down right towards the end there, but that is a nice chunk of damage right there, and I like to see it. Let's see what Odie did on this one. Yeah, Odie performing pretty well. So, like I said, there's a couple heroes we can kind of rotate in and out, try to see who is going to perform better. I think one of the best situations here is honestly, let me just grab the Odie and let's just swap those two, make sure Odie has the higher levels. And then let's try a different hero. Let's try throwing in Thorin instead of the Floorbell and see how that turns out. I honestly kind of feel like putting the team like this and making sure the Merrily definitely stays alive to the very last second. That's probably the best outcome we can have. Let's see who this Snow Stomper boss wants to see, and then we can try to place our units a little bit better positioning wise. But you see right there, that was a very quick breakout there. We again just want to keep Merrily alive the entirety of this battle here. That's going to be one of the most important parts here. Breaking heroes out is going to be a little slower, not having the Florabelle, but Thorin does have AoE damage that you can land on both like the Snow and on Snow Stomper, so I think this might be one of the best options. This is going to be one of the kind of sad ones, because when Merrily is stuck, oh, everything falls apart in this strategy. And that's the downside here of what we just did. So not having Floribel on the team does feel bad in these situations like this because, well, if Marilee is the one getting CC'd, that is just doom and gloom for our run because she is like one of the last ones surviving that's going to be able to break them out. So not exactly my favorite run, but we can keep manipulating this team even further to see if we can get things work. So instead of running Corrin, we can now throw Floribel back in the mix. See if Floribel and all her summons can potentially break the heroes out of the snow ice blocks a lot faster, because then you just have to find this happy middle ground of damage buffers like Floribel season ability, Thorin's regular ability and season ability, and also survivability on this type of team as well. So far so good. Even little Floribel's summon managed to survive that whole entire session right there, which is pretty impressive. We got her ultimate one out. She should resummon her other... Oh, no, the other one's actually still alive somehow. Has the littlest HP bar, but she's still alive right in front of Snow Stomper. And again, all these summons really do help get Marilee broken out as fast as possible. Floribel did go down, though. That is interesting. This is really interesting checking the team. It almost seems like the Corrin lineup did better than the Thorin lineup simply because of the survivability they add to other heroes. And yeah, I don't think the Thorin strategy is kind of working out in my opinion. Odie is still doing really good, which does mean we could try one other thing. We could try throwing a hero like Alsa in instead of Thorin to see how that does. Because Thorin is one of the lower damage dealers. He's kind of just there for buffing and survivability. It almost seems like his survivability isn't quite needed. So let's do a team like this. Let's throw an Alsa in here too, still going with some good magic damage potentially. And just maybe it works out and it ends up being pretty good. I don't know. We could try even dropping, if their magic damage is still pretty significant compared to these true damage dealers. We could even drop Floribel for someone like Citrana even. But yeah, Alsa doing Alsa things and just getting suicided over on the side. Oh god. Oh my gosh, Alsa. It takes so much to make this. Alsa is one of those heroes, like, it takes so much to get her to survive and work, but when she works, she's like the best hero in the game. It's so crazy to look at. Sadly though, it looks like this attempt is going to be completely foobar. It is not even going to have a chance of being good. And I think we might try to do one different thing. We might try to swap Alsa instead of Marilee. That way she's up front and she can potentially get some more healing, and she's getting that 25% damage reduction. But it's honestly looking like an Odie, Corrin, Floribel with Marilee could be the best output here. Yeah, it was slightly disappointing there. So let's do one more attempt with this, but let's just change one thing. Let's throw our squad around like that so that Alsa is the one that is going to be teleported. She's, of course, going to be right up in his face the entire time. And that might keep her alive, I hope. Because, again, Alsa's really good about breaking those snowbanks, too. Especially when they aren't silenced. Her ultimate just pops off, too. Alsa really does suffer on Snow Stomper, though, just because she doesn't get to spam her ultimate. Because that's one of the best things about her, is how inexpensive it is to use her ultimate over and over and over again. So let's see how this turns out. So far, everybody's alive. I like that. We want to make sure no one dies in this next one right here, which they shouldn't, because Alsa does like attacking that from range as well, which again breaks Marilee out immediately, essentially, and then maybe we can keep going on our damage. 30 seconds left. This has potential to be good. Especially Alsa's going to get like 3 ultimates off in a row right here. Sadly, she doesn't do her rolling boulder type ability where it deals damage based on crowd control effects. Yeah, it is keeping her alive though. So, I mean, close. Damage is definitely going to be close here. Last second. Nah, not quite. 26.8. Still pretty good, but it does seem like the Corrin strategy is the better one here. Also just suffers on Snow Stomper because she doesn't get to spam her ability. It was really close damage-wise, though, to the Corrin setup. But, actually, you know what? It kind of worked good there. What if we swapped the Corrin in this situation? Because it actually seemed like Corrin was the one that died a little early, I think, when we had this team composition. So if he's the one up front, he's taking hits. We'll see. Having Floribel summons definitely seems to help a bit. Corn immediately getting broken out of that and keeping his health very, very well. Florbell should get both of her summons back out right here, going back up to 3, which should be good. There we go. She's got all of her summons back. Odie took a decent hit, but again, there's not a ton of damage coming out for the ranged units here, so Reinier's Magic Charms seems to be able to keep up with this pretty well. We did lose, again, both those summons there, but hopefully Florbell gets to resummon them right here. Oh, Florbell actually took the hit. That's interesting. Wonder if swapping floor, because most of the couple times that we've had like this type of situation happen, it's been because Florbell goes down, and then once Florbell goes down, this last group just gets annihilated. So what if we swap Florbell? Well, if we swap Florbell, that does put her in danger and harm's way, but that could mean better damage overall because we don't spend all that wasted time there. Let's see how it turns out. We want to keep her alive as long as possible. That does mean she's going to take some AoE damage from this breath ability right here, but it's not a crazy amount when he does have, or when she does have that healing from Reinier. And again, making sure we have all those summons alive pretty much to the very end is important because those summons are the only thing breaking Maribel, Merrily? Yeah, Merrily out of that snow ice block. So let's see how this turns out. It should keep her healthy. He's still picking on her too. Yeah, most of those throws that the boss is doing is hitting Florbell, so having people damage the boss will keep her at full health for a longer period of time, and then maybe that means more damage output. Because again, like I said, ranged units aren't really at risk of doing, like, taking crazy amounts of damage. And keeping that Florbell right there topped off is really important because now those summons run over there. They break Merrily out immediately. She still goes down with a few seconds left, but that might be enough to get a record. Oh, it's so close. So there is a lot of flexibility and variability in this type of lineup to try to push for higher ranks, but it does seem like Merrily and then Odie are the top 2 damage dealers. Florbell feels like a must-have in this as well, so overall not too bad. We'll continue pushing, see if we can find some different lineups that might work out better. The only other thing I could potentially see being good here is like maybe running a Kruger or something, because Kruger can also do a really good job of breaking stuff out. You know, I kind of want to try Kruger before we end this. I kind of want to try the Kruger and see if his additional physical damage reduction works well. I mean, we can even try. Okay, maybe 2 more attempts. 2 more. 2 more. Okay. So not having the Florbell is going to kind of suck because we don't have those summons and we're not having the damage buff. But Kruger's going to get rid of a lot of the physical defenses the boss has, and I don't know if that's good. Kruger's actually pretty good at breaking those snowbanks as well when they do end up hitting Merrily. So let's see how it works out. It's going to be really hard for him to be better than Florbell, to be honest, though. If anything, it's almost like, yeah, see, he's not even moving from the boss right there, and then he wastes his ultimate on the snowbank. Maybe dropping the Korin is better. Let's see what Kruger's damage output looks like here. Because again, Kruger takes a minute to come back. Nah, it just doesn't feel fast enough, honestly. Even wasting attacks from like Odie as well. 24 billion. We got to break this one quickly. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's so close. Let's see what his damage output is right here. Kruger can sometimes do solid damage. Not as good now. So I would definitely stick with a Florbell type team. If I had to pick a team that I would set up, it would probably look something like this. I think that is probably our go-to here. And you could try probably either Quick Blade or Evocation. I think Evocation might be better with a little bit of RNG. It gives better attack buffs sometimes. Let's just see what it looks like. Evocation is just such a flexible utility artifact. It is so amazing. Florbell summons are going down once again. They CC'd the Odie in the back this time. That's interesting. Again, just keep Merrily alive the whole battle is kind of one of the most important things. But if Korin goes down, that's going to feel really bad. Because Corrin's getting really low. Slow is Odie. Yeesh. Corrin does go down right there. Yeah, maybe swapping the Corrin's probably the best strategy out of all this. Got some life drain going from our evocation spell, which is awesome. Doesn't look like this is going to be a record though. So yeah, placement and who you swap definitely matters. On top of that, does seem like Quick Blade spell overall is the better one, but again, if we would have swapped the Corrin, it might have netted us a better result. Either way, Merrily, Odie are the two to go for. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think. That is our team so far for Snow Stomper, and I'll see you guys next time.